Jack Black is back as Po in Kung Fu Panda 4, and I couldn't be more excited. I took the family to see this movie, and we had an absolute blast. I mean, how can you go wrong with anything Jack Black? The guy's great. He's hilarious. I laugh at pretty much every movie he's ever made, so this movie's no different. Now, in Kung Fu Panda 4, Po is still enjoying being the Dragon Warrior, but this time he has to find a successor. It's about that time to move forward, and this is the next step to his enlightenment. Now, something Master Shifu says he has to do, but he's not too crazy on this idea. He loves being the Dragon Warrior, but, you know, there's always that next step that you got to take, and this is it for Po. Only problem is, during this search for his new successor, a new villain pops up, throwing a monkey wrench and everything, which is fine by Po because that means he gets to be the Dragon Warrior a little bit longer. But yeah, this new villain has a whole new mischievous agenda for taking over the world, as most of them do. And of course, Po's gotta stop this villain. But this movie, Po has kind of evolved as a character. He's a little bit more mature. Like he's been the Dragon Warrior for a while now, so he's got a bit of a grasp on it. But we still love that bumbling, fumbling panda bear. And don't worry, you get a lot of that in here. He's still bumbling and fumbling around, and that's what makes this just a fun, lovable movie, a fun, lovable character. And although you can definitely see the growth in him, you also see the old Po, which is great. So expect a lot of laughs in that regard. Now, there is one thing worth mentioning, and that is we don't get the Fantastic Five in this movie. For whatever reason, they're not there. They do explain why they're not there, but it's an element that I was missing at first. They're a team. I mean, just the Fantastic Five has always helped Po, and they really meshed well together. So when I found out very early in the movie, they tell you that they're not there, I was like, oh, come on. I mean, this is like a big dynamic between all these characters. So now I'm trying to find myself enjoying part of the team. You know what I mean by that? It's like the team's been broken up, so you kind of feel like a little disjointed, but it goes away quickly because we're introduced to a new character, Zhen, who's a fox played by Awkwafina, and this character fits in perfectly. Now, being a fox, Zhen does what most foxes do. She's sneaky and conniving, and you're not sure whether or not to trust her, and then you're talking to Po as if he can actually hear you going, oh, don't trust her, don't do this. Or, no, it's okay to trust her, it's fine, just go. But then that's what kind of makes this character fun. You're not sure what to expect from her. You're telling Po to be careful, and you find yourself talking to a movie screen, and you're like, wait a minute, he can't hear me. But you can't help it. But that's what makes the character fun. It's the unpredictability and what's going to happen next, and where is this character going in the journey with Po. It's like, how do these guys mesh? That's what makes this whole thing fun and enjoyable. Now, along the lines, we mentioned a new villain trying to take over the world, and that is the chameleon. And this chameleon has a bit of Napoleon syndrome, I think. So she is a shapeshifter. And normally when she shapeshifts into something big and powerful, because she's not. She's this little chameleon who's walking on a table trying to bully all the other surrounding supporting villains. So in that regard, you're like, I don't know. Is this a good villain? Is it a not? So you're waiting to see who this person is, or who this villain is, and does she fit in well? And she kind of does. There are things about her that I like. There are things about her I was a little unsure about. And I think that overall, as a villain, she was okay. She's not my favorite of the franchise, for sure. But she definitely has a place. It's funny because every time I saw her, I was hoping she'd get hit in the head with something. She definitely wasn't a likable character. But, I mean, she's a villain, so that's okay. Now, as the movie gets farther along, Po is going further into this journey, not only to defeat this villain, but this journey of his own enlightenment, becoming a better Dragon Warrior, finding the successor. And you really see a change in Po at the end. Like, there's this like turnaround, almost that you didn't expect. It's a maturity level from Po that kind of shocked me in a good way. And it wasn't just something I saw, it's something that everyone in the theater saw, everyone in the movie itself saw. The characters kind of look at Poe like, okay, wow, this is the Dragon Warrior. Like, this is the guy who we've been making fun of, but we now realize we shouldn't have been. We shouldn't have been making fun of him for, fumbling around and stumbling over things and not doing it the right way, because now he's just shown us something that we didn't expect. So in that regard, I absolutely love this journey, which I don't know if this is the end of Poe, but it's the end of Poe's Dragon Warrior journey. So that's something that I enjoyed. It was really good storytelling. I thought the script was done very well. The writers did a fantastic job with this, kept my attention. There's always some dynamic to this movie that I was just enamored with for whatever reason. It drew me in. And that's something I love to be able to see in an animated movie where I can take my kids to. They're laughing and having fun, but for different reasons. They're seeing things in the movie that I'm not seeing, and I'm seeing things that they're not seeing, but we're enjoying it in different ways. So let me know what your thoughts are of Kung Fu Panda 4. Did you enjoy it? Did you not, for whatever reason? Leave your comments down below, hit that like button, and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you at the concession stands.